Jackie Lager. I'm the Executive Director of Northwestern Legal Services.
I'm Terricka Tate, the Administrative Coordinator at Northwestern Legal Services.
So we had issues with staff retention and recruitment over a couple years, and we wanted to seek an outside perspective. We thought we knew what was the issue, but we thought it'd be helpful to have someone else assist us with figuring it out. Initially, our focus was salary and benefits is what we thought was, our main issue. But after that initial conversation, we realized that it needs to be a bit more holistic and to look at the brand and the experience of people applying and working for us as a whole to really get to the main issue. I think we reached out first after.
We did. After the MPP conference, the Keystone Conference. That's where we discovered Decision Associates was as one of the booths, and we just grabbed the information off the table.
Yeah, we're the ones that sent it, but immediately it was one thing that stood out was the level of follow-up and touching base throughout the entire process was something that stood out to me and I found really impressive. That part of the focus that had shifted just from salary and benefits was the experience of staff and the experience of hiring staff and what their process was. So with those focus groups, it was talking to existing staff on why they stay, new staff on things they liked that we did to hire them, things in the orientation that they liked or rooms for improvement, and then those who also had to relocate or move. There was features that we got information from. So getting that perspective from the employees was really helpful in, okay, this has been working for us and we should continue that. And then the areas where we either didn't realize that, we had some room for improvement, or we were doing something that they did like that, we didn't think maybe necessarily made a big deal to them, but it stood out to the staff. And so it made us pause and go, okay, well, this is their real live feedback, and to take it with what it was versus what we thought some of the information would be. And then sometimes it differed.
I got feedback from employees after they did those focus groups, how easy it was to talk to the Decision Associates reps, and how they felt comfortable telling them things that they necessarily wouldn't feel comfortable telling us about our organizational culture. And so that way I feel like it was a more honest and open experience where we would get more value out of the answers that way. That they weren't afraid to say what they needed to say.
So we knew that we needed to change the salaries and the benefits, and our board was supportive of that, but the question was how much to what should it be? And so having that data point where we knew that had to be a change, that we can rely on some concrete evidence and data that was provided on, say, okay, this is why we made the change. It was easier for the board then to digest and to get on board with everything. And it was also easy to have cover from us, that we were relying on something that wasn't just pulling a number out of the air and guessing that was maybe the right way to go with things. And we had direct results from that salary compensation review into, actually being able to fill positions. And then coupled with the rest of the brand experience, that it was a good experience from beginning to end. And we've got funders from different types of agencies, and they say, how have you been able to do it? Because our other ones are struggling. And I'm like, we use Decision Associates, and they did a report for us, and that was really helpful for us. And
it was nice, not only from that standpoint, but it was nice, like she said, to have something to present to the board, for them to have something concrete in front of them to look at, to back up what suggestions we were offering based on the data was tremendous.
We've been able to get more people applying for positions, and we've hired and filled the positions that we have in part to it. And the feedback from the staff is, the new staff that we've hired is, I really enjoyed your interview process. I knew exactly what to expect.
Decision Associates help us realize how important the onboarding was. Having more points of contact with the employees before they actually start. So we implemented that right away. We had someone that we were waiting to start her job until after she finished up school, and she was going to move to our area, and we kept in touch with her. We sent her stuff when she was taking the bar. We did all kinds of things that were suggested from Decision Associates that I think helped foster a better relationship before she even stepped foot into the office.
As a nonprofit, I didn't really ever think of ourselves as a brand. And, that seemed so commercial to me, but, in the Decision Associates explanation of everything is that it's still a brand and a name that carries it. So with that, they were easy to implement, easy to understand. It was easy for someone who doesn't have any knowledge or experience in anything like that to be able to say, okay, I can do this. I can take this piece and we can make that change. And so therefore, I think we've acted with a lot more intention in how we approach ourselves and how others view us from the outside than just kind of like the scattered approach to it. For us to be able to achieve our mission, we have to have the staff to do it. So when we were struggling to hire and keep the staff, the work that Decision Associates put in was invaluable to us because we were able to fill the positions. We don't have any open positions. We haven't had any staff turnover. So now we have a full staff. We can achieve our mission. We can serve the clients that we were meant to serve. Our funders, came to us and said, "Wow, we've noticed you've made strides, and we're not as worried about you as a nonprofit grant, with some of it." And then they've turned to some of the other ones and say, "These organizations are struggling, where do you recommend?" And we're like, "Oh, we recommend, Decision Associates and getting something that you can point to, because you keep doing the same thing, it's not gonna work."
Historically, nonprofits have always had issue with budget and being able to, do things like this. But fortunately, we were able to get this done because we had pandemic monies and things like that, and it was like, we should do this now while we can, and it was probably one of the best things that we did during that time, because it just has helped us in the long run still, since then. And I would highly recommend it to any nonprofit. If you've got the money and if you've got it in your budget, or if you want to just put that line item into your budget, it's worth it. It's worth it because you'll find things that are going to improve your quality of service.
And for nonprofits, right, we're all going for limited amounts of grant money. So to be able to have something that you're able to staff and actually effectuate will help in applications for more grant money and funding, because you're stable, you're organized, you have the staff to be able to complete whatever mission yours might be, and then you're more likely to get grant awards than those who might be struggling to even fulfill their current existing grants. So it was incredibly useful for us.